Good afternoon, we're back again. Today we're going to be looking at card number 8, which is Strength. Here we are, card number 8, Strength. Rather lovely card. This card obviously is ruled by Leo the Lion, and it shouldn't be too hard to grasp the fact that upright, it speaks to courage and patience and control and compassion, true courage, not fake courage, not brashness or that kind of over-the-top noisiness that stands sometimes for courage. And reverse, it's about losses and struggle. Loss of self-esteem perhaps as well. So in the picture here, in the card, you can see a beautiful bright sky and a woman stroking a lion. And in a loving sort of a way, because she's kind of holding him like this and then stroking him. The fact that this woman is stroking the lion lets you know right away that the card is not just about physical strength. If it was, they'd have someone who looked like Samson stroking the lion, but no, the lion is lying down and quite happy. The tail is flopping and the woman is cuddling into the neck of the lion. Also, if you look closely, you'll see that the lion has got his tongue sticking out. And we all know if you've got a cat, when they're really, really happy when you're stroking them, the tongue comes out and they dribble. So we can see that the lion is very happy to submit to this woman. She hasn't hypnotized him. The right arm, which represents physical effort, is just gently holding the neck of the lion, and the left arm, which represents mental effort, is doing all the work. It's really doing all the stroking. So this card, as all of them, represents some of the symbols that go before it. In particularly the magician and the chariot. Above the woman you'll see the symbol of infinity or eternity that occurs in the magician's card as well, and her lovely robe indicating her purity of spirit, and the crown on her head represents the most beautiful expression of nature and of life. It sort of says to you, what is the right thing to do is always the right thing to do. I love this card because it's number 8, and number 8 is one of my favourite numbers. Also, when you look at this card, you will see that there is a wind blowing. So it's not without its struggles, it's not without some opposition, but the woman and the lion are both encased in an aura. So while she manages to maintain that order, all is well. So don't be afraid. The message is not to be afraid. The card represents a higher level of consciousness, not just a physical thing. One that allows you to take responsibility for mastering yourself and eventually for mastering the world. If you've done any Buddhist studies, you know that Buddhism is all about taking responsibility and mastering yourself. And that's what this card tells you. Believe deeply in what you're doing and act on what you know to be true. You know, if you don't do the right thing, you won't get the right thing. That's karma, isn't it? And strength also relates to the fact that when you draw this card, you actually know that you can overcome difficulties. Yes, it might be hard. Maybe you don't want to do it, but you know that you can do it. And that's the difference. And sometimes we go through really tough times and prevail. And it's kind of like an apprenticeship, because something worse is on the horizon, but you just coach through it because you've done your apprenticeship. You know what it's like. When we had that reversal in the economy, the recession we had to have, as Mr. Keating called it, because he didn't go through it. But the rest of us did. And it was a horrific time. And I was dealing in all kinds of, I was doing yoga, but in order to pay school fees and things, I was dealing in paintings, and I lost a lot of money because people don't buy paintings when they can't buy food. And I was dealing with lots of overseas people, and there was, markets were falling, all kinds of things were happening because Australia had decided to shut the purse. But later on, I also had a reversal, and although I didn't like it, it was much easier for me because I'd had that first one and I got through it, and I had the experience, so I knew what to expect and what to anticipate. And it wasn't a breeze, but it was certainly easier. Okay? So any person who falls under the rulership of this card will have difficulties. You can't rely on the support of others. It's a card that tells you need great stamina and great patience. When I was going through my reversal, I had to go and talk to all the people I owed money to, and there were a few. And I was so scared, so apprehensive. But everybody was really, really nice to me and really went out of their way to help me to help them. So, you can do that too. You just have to pull that grit out of the bag. Even if you didn't know you had it, there are times you have to have it. And never, 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 never give up. At this time, you're able to focus on what you need to do and do what you have to do with great composure and maturity. So that's good, isn't it? It's like the woman who tames the lion with love and patience. Soft control rather than ordering people around and forcing them to do things. This strength card also tells you you're experiencing a spiritual time, even if you don't consider yourself religious. Religious and spiritual are quite different. To be truly strong, you must give attention to the body, the mind, and the spirit. It's got to be a balance there. If you're too spiritual for earthly use, that's not helpful. If you're so materialistic that you deny the spirit, that's not helpful. And if you're kind of doing the Indian fakir thing and not paying attention to the body, that's not helpful either. None of those things will give you strength. You need the body, the mind, and the spirit. For a reverse card, people who have a reversed one, upside down one, they've got no idea about how to seize the day. They're more concerned about how to do things easily, how to get out of things. And they blame everything. They blame their health, they blame their mind, they blame the family, anybody else. It's not my fault that I can't do this. I'd love to do it, but oh no. So-and-so tried it 5 years ago and it didn't work for them, so it won't work for me. The kind of thing. So, at this time, it's not just about that reversal, it's about all your chickens coming home to roost. So all those yucky things you haven't paid attention to in the past are going to come back and land on your doorstep. It's like having a wheelbarrow full of anything. At a certain point, the wheelbarrow gets so full it tips over. Well, watch it, because it's just about to tip. Take care of some of those things in your spiritual wheelbarrow. There is work to be done in order to succeed. Don't forget to do your meditations on the card. Sit out in the garden or wherever it is that you like and write about what you're thinking and feeling and anything that comes to you with regards to this card. And I'd like to think that you could do about 3 pages. Probably the first half page will be total rubbish, but don't worry about that. That's how it is. And then as you keep writing, it'll start to make sense. So we are going to do number 9 tomorrow, which is another lovely card. This is 8. And I'm going to do a video on teacher training as well. So we're going to get a bit of everything today because it's Tuesday and I don't have the art class until a couple of weeks' time, so I've got time to spend with you. So have a lovely day, well, the rest of the day. Do something special, walk in the garden, water the garden, as I'm going to do. And I'll say again, I know I've said this before, go forth in peace to love and serve the Lord. Okay? Have a lovely afternoon. Namaste.